A proclamation of the Holy Gospel according to Saint John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came to be through Him, and without Him nothing came to be. What came to be through Him was life, and this life was the light of the human race. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. A man named John was sent from God. He came for testimony, to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He was not the light, but came to testify to the light. The true light, which enlightens everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came to be through him. But the world did not know him. He came to what was his own, but his own people did not accept him. But to those who did accept him, he gave power to become children of God, to those who believe in his name, who were born not by natural generation, nor by human choice, nor by a man's decision, but of God. And the Word became flesh, and made his dwelling among us. And we saw his glory. The glory as of the Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. John testified to him, and cried out, saying, "This was he of whom I said, 'The one who is coming after me ranks ahead of me, because he existed before me.'" From his fullness we have all received grace in place of grace, because while the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God. The only Son, God who is at the Father's side, has revealed him. The Gospel of the Lord.
Our Gospel for this Christmas Day comes from the opening, the prologue of the Gospel of John. Those of you who attended the midnight Mass or maybe even the dawn Mass will see the difference in the Gospel for the day, the Mass during the day. While the other Gospel accounts read at early Masses were more of the narrative of how the birth of Jesus happened, here in the Gospel of John, we are led to a profound reflection on the meaning of the narrative. So we don't have here a narration. We have here a more contemplative stance towards the birth of Christ. And we maintain the question, the focus of our reflection on this Christmas Day: who is Jesus? Who is this baby that was born? Who is he that is the cause of our celebration? Why are we celebrating? Who is he? The response of the opening lines of the Gospel of St. John is very clear. This Jesus is the Word of God, the eternal Logos, the Word that existed from the very beginning with God, who was present with God, and who was and is God. It requires the eyes of faith to be able to see in this human child God, the eternal Word, the eternal Word of God that was present from the very beginning. And this Word of God, just like what the second reading from the letter to the Hebrews states, this Word of God was active in the process of creation. Through Him, all things were made. The Father created all things through the Word of God. And this Word of God shares in the glory of the Father. He says, light. He is the light of all peoples. He shares in the light who is God. We repeat this in the so-called Nicene Creed. Light from God, light from light, true God from true God. The origin of that is the prologue of St. John. So dear brothers and sisters, who is this Jesus? He is the Word of God. He is the light of the Father. He brings to us the very glory, the image, the splendor of the Father. And we owe to Him our very lives, our existence. For apart from Him, nothing is created. He is the creative Word of the Father. Now, part of the mystery that we are celebrating is that this Word of God, this eternal Word of God, instrumental in our lives and existence, this Word of God at the designated time becomes flesh, becomes human. Imagine, the creative Word becomes a creature, shares the very condition of the creatures He has created. My brothers and sisters, find time to reflect on this. Imagine the Creator humbly becoming one of us. We could not have existed without Him, but now He exists as one like us. The Creator, out of love and freedom and obedience to the Father, pitched His tent among us. He made His dwelling among us. A figurative way of saying, He truly became one of us. He dwelt with our joys. He dwelt in our sorrows. He became hungry. He was tempted. He experienced every ordinary experience of a human being without falling into sin. He really pitched His tent among us. He really lived with us. He entered the human condition. He became one of us. Oh, what a great honor. What a great, noble act on the part of God to condescend, as it were, to this condition out of love. Out of love. You know, if I may interrupt this reflection a bit, no? I, as a bishop, when I, for example, go to a family's house, no, I see how people tremble before my presence. Oh, Bishop, you are here. Oh, who are we to merit your coming to our house? You know, I'm almost anticipating the words used in the Bible also, no, but this by the centurion, and that we repeat in the Eucharist. No, I am not worthy to receive you. No, they tremble before you, and oh, we are not worthy, our house is not worthy. But you know that they're also overjoyed to see that you could enter their house, you could embrace their lowliness, you could embrace their condition, and for that fleeting moment or a few minutes or even an hour, you are one with them. You are a member of the family. If an ordinary bishop could already create such joy, why will the birth of the Son of God, the Word, the eternal Word, the creative Word, not cause silent adoration in us? For our Creator has deemed it worthy to dwell among us. Truly Emmanuel, one of us. One of us. But the sad reality is this: the presence of the Word of God in human form, in the human person Jesus, requires a response. The light that the Word of God brings in the person of Jesus requires a response. The gospel passage for today does not hide a sad reality. He came into His own, but His own received Him not. This is sad. that Jesus will be rejected, that they do not see in Him the light of the Word, the splendor of the Father, the glory of the Godhead. They failed to see, and they failed to accept. This truth can still happen today, even on Christmas Day. What do you accept? We accept gifts. We accept bonuses. We accept invitations to dinners. We accept so many so-called graces and blessings. But do we accept Jesus and the light of the Father coming from Him? What makes this more unfortunate is the fact that Jesus comes to us for a purpose. The Gospel of St. John tells us that Jesus came as the Word made flesh so that we could be empowered to become children of God. He came to make us share in His sonship. He came to bring us to His Father. He is the way to the Father. So He comes in order to empower us, to divinize us, the way He is truly divine. My dear brothers and sisters, Christmas Day is not a day to make us a little richer because of our gifts. It is not a day to make us gain more pounds and calories because of the feasts. This is not a day also to become weary because, oh my, I had spent so much this day giving away gifts, etc. to people. This is a day to relish the grace, the love of God coming to us through the Word made flesh, making us share in His sonship so that we could be divine. The Word became flesh so that we who are flesh may be made divine. This is the point of Christmas. This is the tremendous gift that we should anticipate and should receive in Jesus. Let us not ignore Jesus. Let us not ignore His mission and gift. Let us spend this day contemplating Him, beholding Him, and restoring to a world where discrimination still reigns, injustice still reigns, the power that Jesus' incarnation brings, that all of us may share in the dignity of the children of God. Let me close this reflection with a public confession. When I was young, after the midnight Mass, when I have already sensed that my parents, my brother, and all the other members of the household were already asleep, I would go down to the living room and I would play the traditional Christmas songs sung by the Tabernacle Choir, all these beautiful choirs and their beautiful singing. Of course, I would turn the volume to its lowest capacity, but I could hear. And in the darkness, without turning on any light, I would just sit there and look at the baby Jesus and allow myself to wonder, to behold the mystery. Who are you? Why are you coming to our lives? What do you want to do with us? What do you want to make of us? You are coming to us for something. Let me see it, and may I accept it. I hope we will have that contemplative time or moment during this Christmas Day, and you will be changed into a son, a daughter of God, the way Jesus truly is. Merry Christmas to you. The Word has been exposed. Let us now fulfill it.